Let's go to our next game here, and that's the Jaguars at the Eagles. Fun game here. This one's on Dave. So the injuries that we're keeping an eye on, hopefully not too major, but Zay Jones still got that ankle injury. Boston Scott has already been ruled out with the rib injury. The starter sit plays is sit Miles Sanders. The DFS play and the prop play both involve Devontae Smith. The prop is Smith over 4.5 receptions at plus 120. We'll talk about the Eagles in a second in regards to their backfield because I think everybody's starting the pass catchers here with a lot of confidence. But Dave, when you look at the Jaguars offense, they were so good last week against the Chargers. Now granted, the Chargers lost Joey Bosa in the game, didn't have J.C. Jackson. This Eagles defense is healthy for the most part. Can you trust anyone as must-start guys? From Trevor Lawrence, who we know has been better than a lot of quarterbacks so far, to James Robinson, to Christian Kirk, because those are the guys I think that people are looking at.
Those last two are the only two, and I don't think I can say anything that's going to make people freak out and not use Christian Kirk or James Robinson, so you might as well roll with them and hope that they find the end zone. In the case of Kirk, at least it's good to know that he plays in the slot a lot, and that's the best matchup that you could ask for against this Philadelphia defense. They are good. They're going to put pressure on Trevor Lawrence. I would try to not use Trevor Lawrence in this game. I don't want to use ETN. I want to keep him on the bench. If you're loaded at running back, you can probably get away from James Robinson in this matchup. About 60% of his total fantasy points have come on 4 plays. It's his scoring plays. Obviously, touchdowns are going to rack up a lot, but it just means that he's giving you not a lot of efficiency outside of those plays.
I am curious to see if they're chasing points, how they use both these guys, because clearly that would favor ETN. I do think they're going to be trailing, so interesting game here for both the Jaguars running backs, but I think it is a good idea to stay away from ETN, and you should still start those two guys in terms of Kirk and Lawrence, and we would start James Robinson over Miles Sanders. So, Heath, we've had some Miles Sanders discussions this week. Is he still worth starting, or you want to get away from him? Now, Boston Scott's absence might be good for him because maybe a couple of those touches that he's been losing to Boston Scott go in his direction, and they are heavy favorites at home. But is this a week to buy back into Miles Sanders, who still only has 1 touchdown over the past 2 seasons, which is kind of remarkable?
Yeah, I think he's just going to live in that borderline number 2 high-end flex range all season long. It's hard for me to rank him much lower than that, knowing that he's going to see 15 to 18 touches, maybe 20 touches in a given week. And he has been a remarkably efficient runner over the last several years, like 5 yards per carry. You can just about book it. The problem is he doesn't catch any touchdowns, and as you said, he hasn't scored that many touchdowns either. So I'm a little bit concerned about him in full PPR, but it's also with all the injuries and everything, I understand a lot of people don't have 2 running backs better than him. I would rather start Robinson, but I've got Sanders over a lot of guys that we drafted higher than him this season.
He does have the opportunity for a lot of work, and again, if they're playing with a lead, probably going to see a lot more of him, let's say, than Trey Sermon. But the running backs that the Jaguars have already shut down, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, and Antonio Gibson on the ground. Now, Eckler and Gibson made some plays in the passing game, but you can't run on this defense. It's been tough, and he's just not doing a lot in the passing game. So if Sanders scores, you'll probably be okay. If he doesn't, you could be left with a lot of disappointment.